I'm Nia.
And I'm Sydney.
And welcome to Whole Lotta Baka.
In this episode, we conclude our discussion on Promised Neverland with Season 2.
Spoiler alert, we will be going over the entire series, so if you haven't watched Promised Neverland yet, join us again next week when we get back to Naruto.
Alright, now let the Bakaness begin. Hello, people. We are back with Promised Neverland. I'm pretty sure you guys are wondering what's going on with this setup right now.
I'm wondering.
You're wondering? You're on the call.
Yes.
How would you not know?
I'm confused.
We're in two different areas, obviously. Beforehand, we were able to get to each other easily. Now, it would probably take $200 to $300 a week to see each other. So,
you, Sydney, but I definitely don't have $200 a week for you.
Nope. Nope. I don't. I'm gonna let you know that right now. I don't. So, this is the best that we could do at the time.
Plan B.
Yeah, backup plan.
No. Yeah, but for us, it's temporary. Don't worry about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
we will be back to our regularly scheduled program soon. But for the time being, for about the next 4 months, I'm sure all of you people in school understand.
Yes, it'll make sense to you guys. So we start off with a really high point, basically, where they're getting chased by the demon thing. You know,
in the woods.
It's like the equivalent of a tiger. Yeah, the equivalent of a bear or something.
Out of, where the wild things are.
Really? It's a little bit, like, scarier than that, but okay.
a little bit scarier, but, like, the same type of animation style.
Yeah, it is.
Like drawing style.
So, Emma obviously needs to be saved, which that no-brainer, honestly, at that point.
Yeah, I mean, because it basically picks up where we left off, where she just cut off her ear. So she's running. Imagine you're a child running through the forest and you just cut off your ear. What do you think is going to happen?
I mean, but she's about to get also eaten by a giant monster. And I think also, like, the children, they, like, did their own, like, special game of tag. Like, I guess Gilda and Dawn, I think it is, trained the children to do a different kind of tag or whatever. And so, like, he signaled to Gilda, and she took all the younger ones, and, like, this is something new to Emma and Ray when, like, Ray eventually saves her, which I don't even know. Was it Ray that saved her? It wasn't Ray that saved her.
I think it is Ray, because, like, no, it's not. At some point, they split up. I think Ray tries to save her at first, so, like, then they end up getting split up, so he's going to sacrifice himself and, like, lure the demon thing away. And so then Emma, passes out because of her ears. Like, I think it's either infected or she's losing blood or something like that. And so then Emma gets rescued, and then on the other hand, Ray is trying to lead the demon away, but the demons from the farm come and, like, surround him. So then he almost gets captured. Yeah.
Yes.
And that's
when these two demons come, right? And they take Emma away, and they take the kids, they find the kids, they take them away, and then eventually they save Ray from the other demons trying to catch them, take them back to the farm or whatever. And
but at this point, we don't know that they're demons.
Oh, that's right. We don't know that they're demons. We just know that they're, like, just somebody to save.
Somebody in the wood that's helping.
What I don't understand is that once they finally, like, when Ray comes to and Emma comes to in the little cave of these people, how the children were just so calm about, like, regardless of who it is, they're so calm about these people that just saved them. Like, you don't know what their intentions are for you. They could be, like, you could now be their bait to, like, kill something, or you could be a sacrifice. I would not be so welcoming or, like, invited into their little cave that they brought me into.
I think it's more of, like, because we don't know how many hours they were out. Like, you know, we just see them in the cave when, like, they come to type of thing. So we don't know how many hours the kids are there to, like, get comfortable. Because, like, when we see them, they're already eating. Like, they're already settled in their half of the cave. So, like, yeah, like, I mean, once Emma and them wake up, like, they kind of catch on fast, too. It doesn't take them hours. So if they've been there for hours, like,
Well, I'm just saying the fact that, like, you don't know who these people are and, like, you're willing to eat from them. Like, I
definitely think that their stranger danger was not high enough.
That is my point. That is my entire point. Regardless if you were there for, like, you know, a few hours, a couple minutes, whatever, your stranger danger is not up at all. Like, this, like, y'all live in a world full of demons, and it's like the first people that you come across should not be the ones that you are like, okay, yeah,
the first demons you meet. I mean, because like at this point, Emma and Ray don't know that they're demons, but we have to assume that the children
do. They have to.
Because like they've already been in their presence for this whole time. They've already been being fed and stuff. And when they actually do communicate, I think Dawn mentioned something about like, you know, they're like, oh, they could have killed us by now and they didn't. So it's like, so that proves that they did know that they're demons. But like when they said that, it's like, yeah, they could have killed you, but like they could also have ulterior motives as to why they have you. Like,
right.
Killing you.
So willing to
did you forget your priceless merchandise? Like there could be a bounty on your head. Like
they're going to take you back.
Yeah, they're just keeping you here so like they can get the demons to come get you. Like you didn't
trap. They could be working for the organization, the farm, and everything, and you have no idea. And it's like, what? And we also don't even get like their reaction. Like after Emma and Ray find out that they're demons and all that stuff, we don't even get the children's reactions before then. That did find out before Ray and Emma. We don't get their reaction at all. So I just wonder, like, how did that all come about? How did y'all like trust them so easily when they had to eventually present themselves as demons? Like, it's not really hard to look at them and be like, "You're a demon." This is
a part of the show that's just so unrealistic to me because, like, when you think about it, these kids are very naive. Like, they don't have that much life experiences. They've never been left this farm in their life, and so I understand that they're smart. Like they're smarter than the average kids, and like they can use common sense to figure things out. But at the same time, they're very naive. And like in a lot of things in life, you need experience. Like I'm sure everybody knows that like when you get a job, you need to have years of experience. When you when you want to be a doctor, you need to have experience. Like anything you do, you need experience, and they've had none. And yet they're so like this is a breeze for them. Like everything they've come across, like have they come across some obstacles? Yes. But, like, they've never been that major. Like, they've been able to figure it out like this every single time.
Or somebody's come to save them about it. For it.
And that's what frustrates me so much about this, because it's, like, so unrealistic. Like, you mean to tell me out of all of these kids, and out of everything they've done, like, nobody went missing, nobody died, like, nobody got killed. Like, nothing has happened to anybody in this group.
Because I don't believe that the moment I don't believe that the moment in the first, like, the second season was immediately after. Or maybe it was.
Immediately after. It's not immediately after, but it is like right after where we left off. Like
yeah, it's not like as soon as they hop the wall, they're like being attacked. No, it's like
that time period, them still running through the woods from it.
Yeah, for sure. It's when I mean immediate, I mean like they jump the wall and immediately they're getting attacked. No, it's not like that. So yes, I do agree, like nobody got hurt, nobody got killed, nobody got missing. Like, I would say it's probably like a couple days, I think, between them hopping the wall and when they got attacked by the demon. So it just doesn't make any sense that, like, nobody has no injury. And if there are people with injuries in the background that we don't see, why was it not come forth to see that, like, we are struggling, there are issues?
Right, like, it would make a lead, be like, hey, Emma, like, there's 3 kids that are sick. We don't know what it is.
We need medicine.
That would make total sense. Like, that would make total sense. Like, you guys have been hauled up in this controlled area for such a long time around the same people. Like, now you're mingling with other people. Like, that's what happens with human beings. Like, if you keep your kid cooped up all the time and then suddenly put them in daycare, they're going to get sick. You know what I mean? So it's like, how is no one sick? No one's developed a food allergy to this random shit y'all are catching in the forest.
Nobody's crying. Everybody's strong and powerful and willed to continue this journey.
Like, no one's traumatized by the fact that their mother was just offering them up as food.
Everybody's completely fine with it.
Like, this story is so dark, but the fact that the kids are just so optimistic and like we can do it, it just bothers me so much.
And even if they are down, they're down for a little bit, and then somebody comes and like, no, we have to be strong. You know, Norman wouldn't want this, and then like, yeah, and I'm like, what? Why are you so quick to just be like, you know what? You're damn right. Like, no.
You wouldn't want this.
Like, if you ever came up to me and said, so-and-so, like somebody that we knew that's like gone now, wouldn't want this, and you expected me to cheer up, I would have punched you dead in your throat.
Like, honestly, you're making it worse. Like, you had to...
I probably would have been like... and been so mad, I'd be like, you need to get out of my face right now before I kick you.
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't know. It's so stupid. But anyway, they trust the demons. Even Ray and Norman quickly trust the demons. Like, now, actually, yes, they still did. I mean, they were kind of skeptical. They were like, yo, you're a demon. I can tell by your feet. Why is that? And they're like, oh, well, we don't eat anybody. We're vegan.
Basically, we're vegan hippie demons.
Yeah, we're vegan hippies. Yeah. Like, we're not going to eat you. It's fine.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, okay, yeah, we'll believe you that quick. It's fine.
That quick. They could have easily lied. Like, your children could have easily lied.
Right. Come on
just
now.
To get you in the house.
Adults easily lie to me, and sometimes
Have y'all never heard of, what's that fucking fairy tale?
There's so many.
With the fucking wolf wearing the grandma clothes.
Oh, Little Red Riding Hood? And then also The Boy Who Cried Wolf, but like that's not the same as this.
But that's not the same thing. This one's more like it could have been someone who's pretending to be a good guy, like, oh yeah, we're gonna help you, and we'll just make a left. And you go left and you walk right into their den.
And they're about to feast on you. Anyway. Stupid. But they learn about like the whole history, right, of like the world and how it's gone, and that it's not 2015, it's actually like 2046. It's like been 1,000 years or however many, I don't know, years that this whole like humans becoming livestock has happened. And that basically
the world's always been like this.
There's a world, right, for as long as a lot of people have known the world has just been like this. You know, those books you see are literally just like tall tales.
Propaganda.
But
actually, I don't think that's true, because like we learned that there's a demon world and there's a human world. So I feel like the books that they're getting are probably books about the human world.
Well, yeah. When I mean tall tales, I didn't mean like fake. They're just they're just so long ago that it's like you'll never find somebody that has dealt with that. You know, and stuff like that. Like it's
and basically like the humans and the demons made a promise that they would separate.
And in order to separate
the human world and the demon worlds, but that they would leave some humans in the demon world so that the demons had like, you know, livestock basically, as we know, like, they're on a farm.
And that do we find out at this point that the reason why they eat humans as well?
Do we find
I don't know if we find out everything at this moment, but we do find some. I just don't know what we find out. But basically, like whether we find it out now or later. They eat humans
now, but yeah.
They eat humans to keep their form and whatnot, and like that's just how they live. Like they eat humans. Yeah. They do like their brains. We did figure that out though. That what I said last episode, where the brains may have been a little.
And we also find out what the flower thing is. So the flower thing that they shove into your heart is just like an offering to the gods, basically. Like when you pray over your food. It's basically that. And then, so, like, if it... What?
Didn't the demon in the first season eat the flower? Didn't you mention that last time, that the demon ate the flower?
Yeah.
So how is that a sacrifice to the gods if you just ate the sacrifice?
I don't know, because, like, I just don't... I mean, I don't know. But he said, like, you put the flower in, and you wait for it to turn red, and if it turns red, or if it blooms and turns red, then, like, that's... a sign from the gods that you could eat it.
Oh, a sign from the gods to eat it. So what is it? So there is no offerings to the gods. The gods are just giving. So what are the gods benefiting from?
I don't know.
The gods aren't benefiting from anything.
I don't know. They didn't give us very many details on their religion.
They didn't. But the kids told him about Minerva. And they were like, well, yeah, we got to find this bunker or whatever. And then the demons are just like so willing to help. I mean, because they're vegan. They're like, there's no point in you being here. Y'all, there's too many of y'all fucking kids. And we're not trying to travel with all y'all. So we'll help, I guess.
So they help them, they train. They learn how to survive in the wild.
Which, again, have no time lapse of this. Like, because they made it seem like they needed to get to Minerva's little cabin quick. Or not cabin, but like location quick.
My only thing is, all
Training
of this
takes a long time.
From this up until them getting to the bunker, they really could have stretched that out.
They could have.
They could have ended the season. Maybe not with them getting to the bunker, but at least with them being in the bunker until the bunker was raided.
For the second season.
Yeah. That could have been where the season ended.
Okay.
Where the bunker was raided.
And
I just think that they put way too much into this one season. They could have spread the season out.
Yeah.
I think we said the same thing about the first season. Like, it's just, why are you rushing? There was no need to.
Like, I do agree with that. I think that they could have stretched this out. We could have gotten a little bit more training montage, because it's like, what did you train? We don't know. We never find out, like, what exactly in your skills.
You learn how to hunt and, like, shoot arrows and shit.
Yeah, but, like, I would have wanted to see y'all take down a demon by yourself. Like, I would want to have seen, like, your actual training. Like, yes, we see a little snippets of the things that you've done, but like you said, stretch that out a little bit more and, like, see the hardships that y'all go through, but we didn't get any of that hardship thing.
Mm-hmm. And then more of a hardship of them getting to the bunker. I feel like they found the bunker in, like, a day.
Yeah.
Which I feel is, like, unrealistic.
I think it seems like they...
Unrealistic. Like, how is it so close? I mean, a day? It took y'all a day to get to the bunker?
It seems like as soon as they walked out of the woods, they were at the bunker. Yeah, they walked 500 feet out of the woods into that canyon area, and they were just
there.
They were at the bunker. They were at the location.
It would have been nice if you saw them having to get through the woods, because we already now know that it's dangerous.
Yes, and they didn't get through the woods with Mujika and Sonju.
Exactly, and Sonju straight up told them when they left, he's like, hey, stay away from the woods. So it would have been nice to see, their kids, they don't listen. Maybe one of the kids wandered into the fucking woods, and now we have
they were brave.
Right, and now we have an extra scene of seeing them in the woods trying to survive out of the woods. That would have been nice.
Would have been amazing.
It would have been more realistic, because kids don't listen. Mm-hmm. Or we could have had more of a montage of them finally getting into the canyon. Maybe at this point they started running out of food and water. That would have been realistic.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's like, it was the fact that they had no... It's like their journey out of this farm barely had any adversity to it at all. Real issues.
If anybody's ever seen, like, that chart where it's like, you never know how somebody's life goes, and it's like somebody's life goes like this, and then somebody else has, like, trials and tribulations, and they're going up and down the mountain and through a lake and all that stuff, like that little diagram. They were completely like this, and this is how I wanted them to be.
Yeah, basically. That's how they should have been from a TV show. This is how they should have been. This isn't real life. And we're watching a show that's supposed to be entertainment. Why is it just this?
Constant elevation. Like, nobody has any struggle of learning how to hunt.
No trials, no tribulations.
Nope.
Little jump scares here and there. Everything works out fine.
Like, that is
anyway, they find the damn bunker. And it's a dream come true. There's everything they ever need. Of course.
I do have a question for you before we go.
Mm-hmm.
What did you think of Sonju and Mujika? Sonju, Mujika, who? Who do you like better? What would you think?
I thought they were sketch because they're demons.
Okay, same.
Like, I'm not a child. I wasn't immediately like, oh, they're vegan. Also, we didn't mention this, but, like, later on, like, after they,
go off
the nest, Sanju's like, oh, actually, I do eat humans, and I'm just waiting for them to mate, and I can eat their kids.
And eat, like, free range, like chickens and shit.
And it was so funny because, like, when he said that, it seemed like Mujika herself didn't even know that. She was like
she didn't believe it at all.
She's like, what? So, but when he said that, I was just kind of like, I knew it. Because, like, the whole time, they seemed rather... It's like they were helping, but they seemed very, like, offish. Like, they weren't trying to build bonds that much. Which I thought was weird. Which I thought was kind of weird, if you're trying to help these kids. But,
For me, I'm the same way. Like, when I first met Sonju and Mujika, like, Mujika, when we first see Mujika, she was really, like, sketch. She was like, come with me. Like, I did not trust Mujika at first. So I was like, you may be little, but you don't seem like you have your head straight for the right reasons. that I feel like you should have them on. And then obviously, like, meeting Sonju, like, he's big and scary. You're supposed to be scared of him.
Right.
And then, like, I just didn't trust either one of them, because it's like, out of all the people in this world, the first people y'all meet are vegans. The first demons y'all meet are vegans. I can understand if everybody was like humans and demons were all mingled together and stuff like that, that you would find somebody that like doesn't eat this certain way or eat that certain way, whatever. That makes sense. That makes sense. But
in a world where all of y'all are going after the top-rated meat, like y'all are on farms for having the best meat.
You're supposed to be fed to the thing that you just met.
Right. That's the society you live in, and you just so happen to meet the ones that are vegan.
Good.
Vegan hippies.
Good. So when I saw that Sonju was like, oh, I just want fresh meat, I was like, I was waiting for it. I was like, honestly, if I didn't get it now, I was still going to believe that he was bad. Even if he didn't say that, I'd be like, that means he's coming back.
But you know, the fact that they do have him say this kind of makes no sense for the end. Because, you know, at the end, he basically helps them, like, you know, get free. So it was like, I thought your motivation here was to have a different...
God, what in the world?
It's 2:22. What's the time?
31. Nothing not home.
So I thought that the motivation here was for Sonju to have like a new generation of human meat. So the fact that like he's helping them in the end get to the human world, I was kind of confused. I was like, this is kind of hypocritical. Like there is really no point in them adding that in, is what I'm saying, for the way that the show ended.
Listen, season 2 is terrible. There are many reasons as to why it was terrible, and that was one of them, because, you know, we're fast forwarding a little bit, but everybody in that scene was just makes no fucking sense, and I really wish it didn't end like that, but, you know.
I mean, it mostly just makes no sense because it's like, I feel like when they put that in there, they were considering doing something with it, like maybe having them come back later on and being like a antagonist issue, but clearly the way they rushed through the season, they decided not to do that. And like, because of the fact that they decided not to do that, it made that make no sense. It was like, why even add that in there?
Right. Yeah. I don't understand. It really annoys me, but we'll get more to that later on.
Yeah.
But back to the bunker. They get to the bunker. They find out it's really cool. There's so many things here that it's like, we can live here forever. And I'm like, is this where the season's gonna end, basically? Is that they stay at this bunker?
By that point, it's literally been like 4 or 5 episodes.
No, for sure. Like, that's an exaggeration, but still, it's like, okay, don't make it seem like they could stay here forever. Please don't do that. Like, give them something bad. They've got, there's a freaking, what is it? A garden?
Yeah.
An indoor garden?
Cameras, like surveillance cameras.
Cameras? In a bunker? Like, there's just so many. It's like, bunkers aren't even supposed to be that big. Bunkers are normally like, you know, just giant cylinders in the ground.
It's like big enough for them all to have their own room.
Right. No, it's not big enough for them to all have their own room because they did sleep all in one room. But it is the most massive bunker I would ever expect. So. Right. There's a garden. There's one big room for them to stay in. There's the surveillance room. There's a kitchen. There's, you know, big enough for a piano. Like, there's so many things in this bunker, and there's so many actual individual rooms. It's not like one big ass room with all this shit in it.
Right.
There's actual walls. There's a bathroom with steaming hot water. Like,
hot springs.
Hot springs. Like, what? Also, speaking of that, did anybody find it weird that Dawn was in the same tub as the 6 and 7-year-olds as him? Like, he just looks too big to be in the tub. Like, I know that Dawn is supposed to be younger than Emma and them, and they're like, what, 11? They're about to be 11 or 12 or something like that. Dawn still looks too fucking big to be in that bathtub with them.
I don't think it's an age thing, honestly. I think Ray probably would have been in there with them also. It's just that he wasn't there at the time.
I just think that it's really weird because, like, I forget how old they are, and Dawn is really fucking big. So I see him as being older than those kids because those kids look really small. Some of them, not all of them. The two knuckleheads, they're kind of big. So it just seemed like really weird that he was in that tub, and I'm like, wait, Dawn is like probably 2 years older than him. Like, it's not that bad.
Right.
But, like, looking at him, you would think, like, if out of context, that looks wrong. Out of context, he looks like he's 14 and they're like 3. So I was really like, I don't like this. It makes me uncomfortable. I know that he's young, but like, I'm uncomfortable with seeing that. He's like, yeah, guys. And I'm like, oh God. No, dead ass. He had his arms up, like chilling back. I'm like, this is awkward for me. I don't like this. Mm-hmm. So it was that threw me off. But like the bunker being spit spot perfect. It didn't even seem like anything looked really old either, which is crazy. There's like a pantry full of.
I thought that this was sketch because how was this bunker built in Demon Country without the demons finding out? This elaborate bunker. So
like, it takes time to dig a hole and put this thing in there. Especially
with all these corridors, like you said, it's not just one big room; it's all separate rooms. So there's a whole blueprint that went into making this. Yes, this bunker, like it's huge. And bunkers aren't cheap. Only millionaires can have them. Like, only queens have them. And, like, literally, like, how... Do you know anybody with a bunker?
No. But I know many people with the idea of a bunker.
I know, right? But, like, I don't know anyone who actually has one.
No. So, that we know of. They could be hiding it.
That I know of.
They could be hiding it.
That's
I
true.
know we ain't one of those people.
Exactly. But, anyway, like... You know, a lot goes into it. So I was just like, how did William Minerva pull all of this off? Like, at this point, you still don't even know who that is. So it's still very, like, you know.
And you don't know, like, William Minerva is actually that good. William Minerva could be leading them into a trap. Like, for all we know, this bunker could close in, like, lock up, and then water fill up, or, like, you know, there's a secret hatch and demons come running out and eating them all. Like, it could have been any of this. Just because these books from 2015 say this does not necessarily mean that it's actually the person from 2015 or however long ago. Oh,
right. Because for all they know, maybe the original person did have good intentions, but like it could have been found out since then.
Right.
You know, to where like now the demons have infiltrated it and they're like putting in their own things to make you think that this is still going on, but really like we're here to trap you. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's another example of them being like too trusting and like kind of too naive because you were way too quick to give into this one plan that you didn't even know if that was going to be like, you know, an actual, you know, viable solution. Yeah. You should have at least had your own plan as well.
Yes.
Or if that was a trap.
They don't have any plan Bs. Like every single time something happens, there's never a plan B.
They're only relying on this Minerva person.
The only plan B they ever had was when Norman left.
Yeah.
And it was only because Norman left.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't just make up a plan B just in case like something were to happen. They just assumed that everything was going to go straight. If your mother came from the same farms that taught you to be this smart, what makes you think that mom is not smart herself? Like, she could have been planting this shit. Like, so when it didn't have to be a demon, it could have been a human. Her.
Right. Exactly. And then they found the radio and they're listening on the farms to like, you know, monitor the
farms.
The farms.
Yeah, monitor the farms.
Yeah, and the shipments and stuff. But like, of course, they realize that once you realize that like the demons know that they're there because the grandma is like, oh, we're gonna send a trap throughout the radios. It's like, okay, like I knew it. Like, of course they know they're there. Like, it was like they lived it up for like a few days, and like 3 days later, they're like, all right, time to go get him.
Well, I don't understand why the kids didn't peep the fact that, because the entire time they were at the bunker, no new messages came through. And it's like, why would any, like, in precaution, why would you think that they would go about their daily lives? If they're if your farm where you live produces the best quality of children, they know you're smart. They know that you'll probably find something or find a way to listen in on them. Why would you think, as smart as the moms and grandma are, that they would be like, you know what, we're going to go about our normal day. We're going to say whatever we want.
They didn't realize the connection between them and the bunker. Because I feel like because like I said, when they put the message in the radio, it's because they realized that the kids took the radio with them, which means they had inventory of everything in the bunker. So not only that they found them, but that they knew everything that was in there, and, you know, the possibility that they were going to show up there. Like, they already knew. Because, like, this happens later on, but later when she puts in the radio that she's going to ship out Phil and them, she does that because she knew they had the radio. And she only knew that because they did inventory on the bunker and the radio was missing.
Who did inventory on the bunker?
I don't know who did it. All I know is Isabella, mom, is the one who's saying this. I don't know if she herself went to the bunker and did inventory on it.
Well, I'm saying, why didn't the kids figure this out?
That's what because they're naive.
That's what I was trying to get at, is that mom and them are like, because for the first couple of days that they're in the bunker, there's no new messages. Like, all the messages are seemingly normal. No new insight has come up. I just don't understand why the kids didn't realize that maybe mom is doing this on purpose. And how it's weird that we left, but they're not doing anything. Like, it doesn't seem like anybody's panicked that we're gone. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Because it's like, I feel like at that point they'd be like, oh, like, you know, the kids at my farm, mom is like, they're, you know, they're this, they're that. Like, I thought something new would have come up, but because nothing new came up, it was a setup. And I'm surprised the kids didn't notice that. Or I thought that they would notice that because of how smart they're supposed to be. Like, they're supposed to be geniuses.
They were actually there.
Well, I don't know how. I'm just estimating, like, a couple days, a week, whatever. I'm just estimating.
Yeah, but I really don't know how long they were there.
But regardless, like, I at least know that they were there for a few days. I would say max maybe 4. That I think at least they would be there. At the bunker,
like a week.
You know? Yeah, at least. So I just, in those days, I thought that they would have been like, this seems really like mellow for the fact that 12 of us, or however many of us, are gone. You know? And it's been a few days and it doesn't seem like anybody's coming after us, which is really weird because it's like, we're supposed to be really smart and high quality. Why would they not want to have us back as quickly as possible? So that was just really weird that nobody like even thought that. You know? May not be correct or incorrect, whatever, but didn't think that. And so I thought it was... And they also are dumb enough that they didn't see the raid coming on either. I mean, that I probably wouldn't have expected it. I wouldn't have expected the raid. Maybe not as soon as it happened. Mm-hmm. But I don't think I would have expected the raid, number one. Number two, where did all these tunnels come from? Did you notice that? Like, there were hella tunnels in this bunker. It's not even a bunker at this point. It's a mine. It's a mine.
Yeah. I don't know. It doesn't make sense. And
it doesn't.
The fact that it didn't dawn on them that this doesn't make sense. Like, how is this just here?
Mm-hmm.
Why would this just be here? It's going to be different if it was, like, something that someone obviously, like, carved out by hand. You know what I mean? But this is, like, a high-tech, high-facility, you know, years of electricity, generator, running water, hot, like, there's no way that something...
all seems set up.
Yeah, exactly.
And then the tunnels...
Like, if they ran into, like, what Mujika and Sanju were in, that cave system... If that was what they ran into as their area that's supposed to be their safe haven, that would have made so much more sense. Because that's believable that someone could have carved that out over time and kept it hidden.
Because it was Soju and Mujika that were doing it. As opposed to...
And because it's not like a high-tech, you know, high notice... You know what I mean? Like, it's something that's more low-key than the bunker itself.
What also is the thing is that the tunnels were really big, and if one person did that, there's no way that one person did that. Number one. Number two, I just made the correlation that the tunnels that Sonju and Mujiko were in were the same kind of tunnel, like the size and all that stuff. It wasn't as well lit as the one at the bunker, but they look very similar. So it's like, if this is a demon world and there's not many humans out here, the demons most likely built Sonju Mujika's tunnels. If it wasn't Sonju Mujika, demons most likely carved the tunnels at the bunker as well. Like, I don't know. That's just how I feel. It's like, it makes sense, does it not? That, like,
I mean, at this point, they still don't even know, like, I mean, they know that it's about the promise and that it's a world that's, like, half demon and half human, but they still don't know how many humans are actually out there at this point. So, I would assume everything was made by demons. If I'm in the demon world, and the humans that are here are oppressed, number one. Like, they're not doing anything. They're not building anything. They don't have their own culture.
I would think that they would. If they're in this area, they would need to build something so that they could hide in. They can't just be out in the world.
They're not out in the world. They're on farm. That's what I'm saying. Like, as far as they know, they're not out in the world. As far as they know. They're all on farms. No one has broken out. There's no uprising. They're the only ones who's broken out.
But as we know, this has been happening for 1,000 years, Nia. You think out of 1,000 years nobody has tried to? I think at some point somebody
tried to and weren't successful are two different things.
We don't know that. Somebody could have been successful. This world is big. There could have been humans out there, but the chances of them meeting other humans that would welcome them with open arms or anything that's not in the human world are very slim, is what I'm saying.
I mean, I think this whole William Minerva thing suggests that there are other humans that have broken out. And that, yes. I mean, because obviously you would need to know the way in order to give the way to others.
Exactly.
So I think that kind of suggests that there are other humans that broke out. But, like, you're still in a demon world, and even if they would have broken out, they're not getting all these materials to build a bunker. Like, not like that. Maybe one that they carved by hand, not one that has fucking running hot water.
No, that no.
That's my point.
That's what I was saying. I was like, they'd be able to build something. I wasn't saying the bunker that we're talking about specifically.
Yeah, I was saying, like, if they were going to something like what Sanju built, that's what I was saying, that would have made more sense. They themselves should have seen that this is a high-tech facility. It doesn't make sense. There's no way this could be a hideout for us. They
really put faith in Minerva, bruh. I still at this point was still sketch about Minerva. Like, I still did not like Minerva. I was like, I don't know who this man is.
Especially when they put all them scribbles in there. I'm like,
we have no flashbacks or anything of Minerva. We have nothing that's actual credible that I could believe in that this man is a good person. Not at any point, and they gave us a shit ton of things about Minerva. I feel like between now and the beginning of the first season, not one of those things where I was like, I believe him. He's here to help. He's a good person. He's that. No, I couldn't do it.
Right. Even though, apparently that is what he was, but no, I didn't.
It took way too long for me to believe that. It took me a long time to believe that. It only took me into the last moment to believe that.
And even then, I didn't believe it. That was when I was like, okay, this is a stupid ending.
Yeah, it is. The rating of the tunnels, stupid. I think the fact that there's so many different tunnels and so many different entrances that the demons knew, all that stuff, I thought was crazy. And the fact that one of the kids...
if they're going to build it.
But, I was getting to my point. I think it's weird that one of the kids knows all about these tunnels, but nobody else did.
Yeah, like,
one of the other kids knew it, because they were like, I know the way, this way, that way. I was like, how do you know about this, but nobody else knows about it?
Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense to me. So,
I mean, it's not, like, impossible, but,
if I was one of those kids that found the tunnels and was roaming through them, I would have told everybody just in case something does happen, so that everybody knows where to go, so we can, again, make a fucking plan B to survive.
Yeah, but if you're a kid... that's how you would think that they would act if they were genius kids. That's how genius kids
They're supposed to be geniuses. That's what I'm saying.
But they're not acting like geniuses, is what I'm saying. And what I've been saying this whole time. They're literally acting like regular-ass kids that have just been getting lucky breaks this entire time. Because if you're a regular-ass kid, I could see you discovering mines and stuff and not telling anyone because you want it to be like your own little secret runaway area or whatever. I could totally see a little kid doing that.
But nobody reprimanded him after that. Been like, why the fuck didn't you tell us? Nobody said anything about that. Nobody questioned the fact that this kid knew about all this.
They're too busy running for their lives. I would hope
even after the fact. Okay, but still, Ray, I would have expected Ray to been like, why didn't you say something? He's the more logical one. I would have definitely seen him be upset and be like, how did you know about this? Why didn't you tell anybody? We could have all died because you didn't say anything. Like,
yeah,
we need
we'll bring
to all
that up
come
after
together.
we're done running.
No, I'm not. I know that. I'm not saying at that moment.
And then once they got out, where did they go? Oh, that's when they went to the temple, right?
Yeah, but that was like months later. Don't know what happened.
So where did they go right after the?
We don't know.
See, something else that could have been stressed out. How they suddenly made it to this temple.
Don't know.
I don't think that was months later.
What?
I don't think that was months later.
I think it was months later because it's like they had to find this place, and so I just assumed that it was months later because it was like, because at one point we find that it's been a year since Norman's been gone, so it's like it would make sense that like they found this place a couple months, maybe not a lot of months, but like a couple months later they're in the village, and then when we see them was a few months after that because they're very acclimated, like they have the clothes of the demons and everything. How else did you find that? They're in the temple. The demon guy, the demon old guy knows them. Because he goes in there to give the offering to the gods. Apparently that's the offering. Whatever the fuck he put on the altar was the offering to the gods, not the rose or the flowers. But he knows them. He's like, hey, I told you. Or he at least knows Emma, because I think he only addresses Emma. He's like, hey, I told you to stop playing, like, in the temple. It's not a good place to play, da-da-da, all that stuff. So, like, he's known them for some time, or he's known Emma for some time. Of her, whatever. So it's gotta be some time after the bunker. There's nothing that happens after the bunker. It's just, they get to the bunker, they're at the village. I have no idea what happens in between then. Again, nobody dies, nobody gets hurt, nobody gets sick.
Right? They're still all collectively a group.
Nobody's gone mentally insane.
Everyone's still just, let's go, we can do it. Don't worry, Emma, we'll help you.
Yeah. All of this is the world is perfect to them. They live in this bubble where everything is perfect and everything else is chaos.
The show has so much potential. It could have been so much darker.
It does. Like, I remember waiting, like, because this was back in the time when I didn't really watch things with subtitles. I watched them mostly in English. I literally waited for this thing to be in English, Nia. I'm so upset that I told myself, no, just wait. I waited until it was English, watched it, and was disappointed. I could have been watching other stuff.
I'm pretty sure I told you not to do that.
What?
Because I watched. I said, I'm pretty sure I told you not to do that because I watched it on time.
No, we weren't friends. Or not friends. We weren't anime friends when I watched.
What are you talking about? This did not come out a long time ago.
When did it come out?
Season 2? Season 2 like just came out.
It did?
Yes.
So, well, when I say I waited for it to be in English, it was only the first season that came out. When it came out, it was the first season. I waited for the first season to be in English. I don't know what I did for the second season. I don't know if I waited. I don't know if I just watched it in sub and sucked it up. But I do remember when the first season came out, or when they were talking about Never Promised Land coming out, I was like, I want to watch this so much because the art style is completely different from anything that I've ever seen. So yeah, maybe season 2, you told me, hey, don't wait. But season 1, I definitely did wait because I do remember watching it before we knew each other watched anime. I do.
No, yeah, I watched it. Yeah, this is one of the first ones that I watched also.
Yeah, I was very disappointed.
I thought you were talking about season 2. That was like season 2.
No. I'm just talking overall. Like season 1, I watched, and then I waited for season 2, and I'm like, dang, honestly, I could have just not watched the entire thing. If season 2 is going to be this bad, I could have just not watched season 1. I could have just not waited.
Literally, I could have not wasted my time, but here I am.
Exactly. But I did.
Here we all are.
So what really
they get to the freaking temple and to the village.
Yeah, what really fucked them up is that the two knuckleheads, I don't remember their names. It was the blonde one and the black-haired one. They're always together, always hee-hee-hee-heeing it up. What really fucked them up is that they wanted to go and help them, like, harvest food from the village or whatever they were doing, steal food, whatever. Or catch the little slimy fish, whatever the fuck they were doing. And the two demons that, like, their sister's sick and she needs to eat a human so that she can survive, those two demons smelled them and was like, I smell human, they're human, chased after them, and then here our boy comes. Norman's back. Yeah, Norman's back.
Saves them.
What?
By slaughtering these demons. Saves them by slaughtering these demons.
Mm-hmm.
The demon that's in the temple, does he know? I don't think he originally knew that they weren't demons. But I don't understand how he didn't know that if you could just sniff them out.
You know, I was going to bring that up later on where, you know, when he does find out that they are human later on. I thought it was weird. Yeah, I thought that was a little strange that how did you not know that they were demons?
I mean, like, I would have known because at first they made it seem like he's blind. So it's like, okay, he can't see. But then when they showed them in the village being able to sniff out that they were humans, I'm like, okay, so if their nose is that strong and they're that easily detected, how does he not know?
Maybe his age is what messes it up. Because, you know, like, you lose your sense of hearing. I guess you lose your sense of smell getting older. I know eyesight and hearing for sure. I don't know about the other senses, but I'm chalking it up to that maybe, or just terrible writing. I don't know.
And I'll chalk it up to that.
I'll give the benefit of the doubt of both. I won't put them on the same level. I'll probably put bad writing a little bit higher than the fact that he's supposed to be old and they lose their touch of senses. But did you expect Norman to survive?
I was definitely surprised to see him alive.
You were surprised. Okay.
But I think it's more the way that he came back to life or not back to life, but the way that he was reintroduced that was surprising.
I didn't expect him to be alive at all. Like, I honestly, like, thought, even though as much as I wanted Norman to still be alive, even though he still was alive, I really thought he was dead.
I suspected something just because when they originally gave him up for the offering or whatever it is, I forgot what they call it, the shipment. Mm-hmm. When he went through the gate and he went up to the truck, he knows the normal process because they saw Connie go through it. So he was going over to the truck, knowing the normal process, and then Mom was like, "No, come wait in this room." And then he went in the room, and we don't know what happened. But just from that happening, I was like, "That isn't what usually happens." So maybe something different is going to happen with Norman.
Did they show that in the first season, though? I don't remember them showing that in the first season. Okay.
They did.
I don't know. I just thought that maybe in my head that whatever was behind the door was like a top tier demon that was about to eat it. Like, it still devastated me that he was dead or gone. Because, like, I don't know. I just felt like
I didn't know what was going to happen. I was just hopeful from that. Just the fact that they did something different.
I thought the way that they were going to reintroduce Norman was that he did survive up until a certain point and then died. I thought possibly, like, after he was gone, he was going to possibly survive, and they were going to find out somehow, like, that he survived. Mm-hmm. But at some point, obviously, he died. He got killed. Somebody got him. You know, rookie mistake. I don't know. That type of thing.
Yeah.
I mean, it is a rookie mistake. You've never dealt with demons outside of the farm, so, I mean...
True.
Know. So, yeah, so I thought that, like, they were going to find, like, some writings where it was like, oh, Norman, signed Norman, and be like, oh, shit, he's here.
Norman was here, like, you know, at the bunker.
And, like, something like, oh, man, like, there is hope that he's still alive, but then they find out that, you know, he went down fighting, but, like, in a good way. Not, like, you know, he was caught off guard, like, he was triumphant to some degree. Mm-hmm. I don't think I was expecting him to actually be alive.
I was expecting something. I just didn't know what I was expecting. But to find out that he was in a lab camp where they were doing experiments on him totally made sense for the way that he was given off. Yeah. So that made sense. Unlike everything else, that made sense. And I liked that twist of them trying to find they're trying to find a drug that they can feed kids that will make them smarter instead of having to wait for them to be raised and taught.
So they can literally, they could basically get shipped off at 6 instead of, like, you know, 11 or 12 or whatever, like they normally do. Mm-hmm. They've got, so that they can now bring out more produce, more product, whatever.
Mass production.
Mm-hmm. Mass production. What we do.
Of the kids with brains.
That's what we do over here.
Yeah, they're basically like what they do with the cows.
Yep, and the chickens.
Pumping them with hormones. It's the same thing. It's the same thing.
The vegetables, everything.
And he has these friends that he also broke out. So basically the lab was called Lambda. So Project Lambda is what they're trying to do, where they're trying to create this drug that's going to make them smarter. And so he has 3 other guys. Well, they're not all guys, but he has 3 other people with him. Either people.
How did you feel about them? I'm not
a huge fan of, like, when new characters are introduced. And rarely do I like that. Huh?
Especially, like, kind of late, though.
Right.
Like, at this point, I think we're, like, we're a little bit halfway through.
Yeah, we are. We're almost at the end of the season.
Yeah, when we meet them. And so it's like, at this point, why introduce them? If the seasons are so short.
To be new characters that are on the side of the protagonist. Like, it's different if it's going to be for the antagonist, but if it's going to be for the side of the protagonist, it's like, why did I need more? Like, we already have 30 kids that I can't
remember half their names. I can't remember half their names.
I
only know the 3 Musketeers, Norm, Emma, and Ray, and then Dawn and Gilda, and then Phil. Yes. Every other child, I don't know their names. They all look the same.
I know Connie, but she's dead.
Yeah, Connie's dead. So, like, at this point, no point of mentioning Connie. R.I.P. R.I.P. to a real one. But, like, now, so we find out that Norman is on the side of killing the demons, which I was not expecting that. I don't know in what direction they were going to go.
He developed a drug. He invented, like, a drug to kill the demons.
Yeah. Well, before that, we didn't know that. We had no idea that he invented the drug at the point that we found out that they were, because we meet the minions, his minions first, and they're like, we're gonna all they were talking about is we're just gonna kill him. I don't think we found out the drug until Norman said something about it, but I really did not know what direction.
Are you sure? I really thought we did.
I don't remember if we did. I think that just seems like a Norman thing to say, not them, because it's like Norman was the one that developed it, so it just seemed right that Norman.
I thought Norman was the one who said it, but I still didn't think it was after. After.
I don't know. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. But, like, them finding out about, like, or Emma coming back. I don't know if they found out about the drug. I just remember that Emma and Ray knew that Norman was trying to, like, eradicate them. And she didn't like it.
Emma's not okay with it. Okay, here's my question to you. You're not either?
What? I'm not either what?
My question to you is, how would you feel about Norman's plan? This honestly low-key reminds me of, like, Aaron's plan.
So do I agree with Norman or Emma? Or just how I just strictly feel about Norman's plan?
Okay, let's strictly do Norman's plan first.
Okay. I think it's fine. I have no problem with it because of the fact that, like, you're the ones being oppressed.
Yeah.
I think if it was the other way around where the demons were being oppressed, I might have been a little bit on the demon side because of the fact that, like, that's just, like, the aspect that's what they're going for, that the humans are the bad ones, and so therefore it would make you want to side with the demons. But since it's not that, and it's the other way around where the demons are the bad people, I'm siding with Norman. Like, the demons are killing you. How else are, like, in my head I'm thinking, you can't you can't make all the demons see your side and you can't make the demons see that you are worth not eating quickly. You can't do that. So realistically, Norman's plan to eradicate them was better than just sitting there and trying to convince them type of thing. Like, would I have liked for Emma, I guess, to be able to have everybody be like, you know what, we're all on the same team. Yes, it's the nicer thing to do, I guess. It's, it's the more humane thing to go because you're not killing anybody for it. But realistically, Norman.
Realistically, Norman. Maybe kill some people. Yeah, I mean, like I said, it reminds me of Aaron.
Don't sit here and tell me that you agree with agree with Emma, or that you want Emma's plan. Please don't tell me that.
I wasn't going to.
Okay, just making sure. Just the way that it sounded, I was afraid.
I was going to give Emma's plan the benefit of the doubt, because obviously, like, they have emotion. It's hard to go through with killing something that has emotions and feelings and things like that. You know what I mean? Like, for me, I don't like that. But, I mean, like you said, like, are they going to stop eating meat? Like,
it's not easy to do that.
Like, I mean, it's one of those things where it's like, I mean, we can't, this world is not big enough for both of us.
Right.
I was like, either you're gonna live or I'm gonna live. Like,
I will give Norman the benefit of the doubt, because you said it's really hard to kill something with feelings. Norman did not know that. He did not realize that they had families and feelings and names.
Yeah, it wasn't until later.
Yeah, it wasn't until later. So you gotta be like, I understand that how Norman felt.
Yeah, I mean, if I were from Norman's perspective, where I had just busted out of Lambda, and they've been shipping out my siblings, and they've been torturing me and my friends, and that's all I know them for, yeah, kill them. What do we need them for?
But yeah,
making the world a better place. But once you go to their little village, and they literally are living exactly like us, it's like, just like Emma said, like, how are they any better than us? Like, they also have to kill to survive, just like how we do.
It's just the way that they did it that's the problem. I think that's what makes...
We do the same thing with our farm animals. And
they can't talk!
We don't degenerate.
They don't speak English. Okay? I understand your point. But because throughout this entire show, I was thinking about that. Like, I'm like, oh, it's like cows and chickens. But the difference between cows and chickens and demons is that demons, like, you can see their emotions. You can feel their emotions more than you can an animal. Animals do have emotions, yes. You can see it. But, like, it's easier to see it when it's something that speaks, that can talk your language and stuff like that. So, I understand chickens and whatnot. We do the same thing. But I would still be on the eradicating side. Because of the fact that, like, at some point you have to know that what you're doing is wrong, because you're enslaving people who are very, very similar to you. The only difference is that y'all look different, and y'all degenerate at some point. That is like me caging up or putting a cow on a farm is different from me putting something that I can speak with. That could be like, listen, my name is Sydney, and I'm this years old, and I have a family. Like, that's like, oh God, I can't do it anymore.
Yeah.
So, like, at some point, they had to see that they were doing something wrong, but they still fucking did it. And so that's why they need to go. Because humans can easily eat the demons. Freaking Barbara did. Only reason why I remember her name is that I thought it was the weirdest name ever. I was like, Barbara? Out of all names?
I know.
Barbara? That's the only reason why I remember her name. But, like, Barbara was eating demons. The humans could have been saved demons, but they didn't. So,
such a hard question. This is why I can never rule over a country.
Were you thinking at some point that you would?
Maybe.
I'm dead.
Never know. Never know where life takes you.
You don't. You really don't.
But I couldn't do it. I had to make these type of choices.
Mm-hmm. So, after we meet the little clan and whatnot, and Norman is like basically saying, I was experimented on, my friends were experimented on, I know y'all are my family, but like, y'all don't know the half of it, y'all don't know the hardship, because I've been to two different farms. Yeah, y'all are naive. Yeah. Y'all have only lived in one area. I've lived in two. I've seen it all that stuff. They're like, Norman's like, you know what? I give you something. You can, if you find Mujika and Sonju, these people that you claim that don't eat us, I will consider it. And then we find out about Mujika's backstory, how like she's the, what is it? The devil, the evil girl, the evil-blooded girl, or something like that.
And I don't understand why she's evil-blooded if her blood.
I don't either.
Like Norman, when they brought her up to Norman was so dramatic. Like he's like, she's still alive, and I'm like, what did she do that was so evil? I'm missing that part.
I think the reason why her name is Evil-Blooded Girl is because the demons wanted to eat humans and she was stopping them from eating humans. So that's the name, the perspective that they have for her. And it just kind of flowed with everybody else.
I mean, that makes sense. But why would Norman be so terrified? Like, he acted so dramatic when they brought her name up. Like, when he found out
because he wants revenge. And he can't get revenge if they can't deteriorate anymore. If his drug is solely based off of them being able to deteriorate when his drug goes off. If they have the blood, they can't do that. They're immortal at that point. And he wants revenge. And so he still is considering her evil because of the fact that she's basically, her blood can stop what he wants to do.
Right, okay.
Anybody else that called her evil-blooded girl makes no sense.
I think everybody else who referred to her that way was a demon.
Okay,
so
good.
It would have made
anybody else it wouldn't have made sense, and I would have been upset, and I would have understood you being confused about that. But because of that,
but either way, Norman does not wait for them to come back, and he blows up the city anyway.
That shit was wild. Because, like,
I thought that was so funny.
A part of me was like, what is stopping Norman from not doing it now? And then when he actually did it, I was like, oh my god!
From the jump, Norman's just been like acting against them and like doing whatever he thinks is best. And so when they said that originally, I was like, Norman ain't gonna wait for y'all. Like, don't
right?
Do
Yes. I'm like, what is stopping him? Like, y'all are gone now. Now he can actually do it
and without like, a guilty conscience.
Right? Without y'all being there, y'all come back and everything's already done.
Y'all helped him actually.
Exactly. So he was like, I'll give you guys 4 days. And they were like, all right, cool. What makes no sense about that is that it took them 3 days to get to Sonju and Mujika. It took them less than a day to get back.
Of course.
Mate, what? Because the fact that it took them 3 days to get to where they were, and they were able to see the explosion, also didn't make sense.
I think it took them 3 days to find her. I don't think where they went was 3 days away.
Oh.
They were looking for her, and they were going in the general areas where they knew that she would be. But that doesn't mean she was there when they got there. So, like, they got her, they're like, okay, now we have to go to the other place and look. Okay. So that took 3 days. I don't think they were on a journey to where she was for 3 days.
In my head, I was like, it's a 3-day journey, and they ended up finding her after the 3 days, and then it took them less than a day to get there. I was about to say, what? That makes no sense. Yeah. They still did get there really freaking fast, though, because I felt like by the time...
the same thing.
How far they were from the village, I feel like by that time, everybody should have deteriorated and been dead. Because of how fast it was already working when it first exploded.
Yeah.
Like, people were already growing all types of things out of their bodies. I thought by the time they got there, unless they teleported, that more people would be dead, if not everybody.
Like the fact that the grandpa's daughter survived when she had like 3 hands sticking out of her head and then it just reversed. I'm like...
And she was younger. So like I thought like, I would feel like if you're younger, it would take effect really quick because your body's small and it only takes like that to go through your body. As opposed to like an adult, a little bit slower. But most of the adults were already churned. The kids were still, some of the kids were completely fine, which made no sense. I'm like, you're running through the gas to get to your mom and dad. How are you fine? How are you okay? The only kid I saw that changed was Emma, the demon's granddaughter. She
didn't even fully change. She just had the things growing out her head.
Right. She was the only one that changed in the slightest. Okay. All the other kids, I didn't see change at all. Her and then the brother's little sister that they were trying to get Emma and Ray to be fed to. She was already changed. But I thought she would have changed faster because of the fact that she was already changing. How? How are you walking through the village with your other baby little sibling that's also deformed?
And you're changing.
And you've already changed, kind of. How are you not a demon by now? Like a full-fledged deteriorated demon. It makes no sense. And then Barbara coming to her senses randomly. I'm like, you were savage. You were eating the demons. You're roasting them and eating them, and all of a sudden you can't kill them.
They didn't know that they had emotions. They didn't know that they had feelings, that they could feel love for each other and things like that. It wasn't until she saw that she like felt remorse.
I guess so. I think it's just the fact that she just seemed so crazed that she was beyond that point. I thought she was a little bit more beyond that point. Because she came to that conclusion a lot quicker than the other. I feel like than the others did.
Not because all of the others. There was one other that was like not feeling it, and Norman was like, "We're done. We're not doing this anymore." And he's like, "I've sacrificed my whole life for this," which no, he didn't. But you know, he was being dramatic about it. But yeah, you're right. He was acting more dramatic than Barbara was, and she was the main one that was upset earlier when Emma brought it up.
So that's why, like, I thought she was just too far gone. That like at this point there is no, you know, reasoning with her about all of that. I think it would have been better. I would have liked it better if like the way that they all came to terms, because even at this point, Norman has come to terms with the fact that, you know what, we shouldn't be killing these people, because Emma finally comes back and helps. And she's like, don't do this, Norman. Don't. I thought it was really quick how he just snapped. He's like, you know what, this isn't what I want to do. And I'm like, really? You did all this stuff? You've created a drug? You've gotten this far, and all of a sudden you've changed your mind?
I think it was because he went into the city himself, and he saw it for himself with his own eyes, what he was doing. And, like, how fucked up it was. Because, like you said, he also had not seen demons with emotion before now. So he made the drug. He finally sees them with emotion. And then he sees, like, the grandfather and the granddaughter, like, that relationship as it's being broken apart. And he's feeling guilty knowing that he's the one who caused it to be broken apart. And Norman's not, like, a savage person. Like, that's not his nature. So I think it totally would make sense that he would feel bad.
That's true. I was going to say that I would have probably liked it if Norman started to come to these terms before, like, after Emma and Ray came to him and said, like, hey, I don't think we should be doing this. Norman was like, all right, go get Mujika and Sonju, and then I'll think about it. I was going to say, I kind of wish that he had started to come to terms at that moment, like, after they had left to go get Sonju and Mujika, and then, like, a little bit more dynamic to it. The minions were the one that saw that Norman was faltering from where, you know, their ideas, like, we're going to get rid of the demons, but he's faltering now. And so they're like, you know what? We know he's probably not going to set off the drug because...
Let's take it into our own hands.
Yeah, let's take it into our own hands and do it ourselves. I think that would have been phenomenal.
That would have been good. But like I said, they were so lazy and so rushed with the storyline. They could have done so many other things that they could have done, but they wanted to finish it within 2 seasons, and I don't see why.
Yes, like, that would have been so good. I would have loved it. That would have saved the season.
I honestly still feel like the show had a lot of potential. Like, if a different studio wants to pick it up and redo it, I still feel like the show has potential. I generally just feel like the way it was done made...
Why is it that they're not doing a season 3? Is it because season 2 was so bad, or they just wanted to finish it and be done?
No, because they wrapped up everything in season 2.
I feel like they could.
One was good. Everyone liked season 1.
I feel like in season 3 I feel like they could make a season 3. I mean, do I want these specific people?
I don't think they can now, because they already wrapped up the season. Okay, so, you know, he decided not to go through with the potion. Then they get the frequency about Phil that I brought up earlier. So then they decide that they're going to go break out Phil, and of course Phil is going to Lambda, and of course Lambda's in the center, or headquarters is in the center of the farm they already came from. And so miraculously, they're all able to go back to the farm, break in the headquarters with no issues. I mean, they had, like, the whole balloon idea thing, which I guess was smart.
But, like, it didn't go bad. Like, everybody was able to, like, not get attacked or, like...
Once again, no one died. There is no casualty. There's no injury. Everyone's able to get in completely fine.
There's a scene where it's one of Norman's minions, and there's, like, 8 bodies of demons around him. I'm like, how are these demons not strong? How is it that one human, one teenager, because this dude at Lambda that beat these demons up ain't that damn old. How is he able to knock out all of y'all? Straight out of a hot air balloon.
It just, whatever. That's what I'm saying. Like, this whole part from here on, it's like downhill. It's like they just were just putting shit together, honestly, to make an ending. Because from here on, it just really makes no sense. They're able to fully break into headquarters. Headquarters is so understaffed or undermanned that they weren't able to stop these kids.
But yeah, they have so many people out there fighting them in the woods, though.
And then none of them were able to actually stop them. That's what I'm saying. Not one person got captured or stopped by the person in the wood or hurt. No one.
The little kids were able.
They're able to reunite with Phil, and then the other kids who were holding the demons off are also able to reunite with them later on. Until the
mothers didn't do anything.
Right, I was gonna say until the mothers come, and then you think, oh shit, but no, the mothers are now teaming up with them too.
No, not those mothers. Not those mothers. There was at Emma, Ray, and Norman's farm. They had like eight or nine new moms at their farm to like watch over everything, I guess, since they didn't have like a head mom or whatever. And those moms took all those kids down to the gate. And then that's when Emma was like, all right, we're going to start the game. 3, 2, 1, go. Not a single one of those moms was able to catch not a single one of them kids. It's like 30 of them. Nothing. Like, what? They were so shell shocked. I'm like, aren't you trained for these kind of things? Shouldn't you know that if a child tries to run, you should try to run after them? They just went, oh! They were so shocked that they were running that they didn't do anything. And that goes to the whole nobody got captured, nobody got taken. Like, it just went so perfectly. The mom's chips in their hearts didn't work anymore because they were deactivated by Norman. Not mysteriously, but like in the middle of all of this. And
I forgot that the demon just so happened to have another little screw. Just so happened to have the other screw to the pen. Like this the one that they were staying with in the temple. They just so happened to stay with him. He just so happened to be there when Minerva died to get the piece to the pen, which just so happened to have the map to the human world and the cure to Norman's side effects. So conveniently.
Yeah. It just all...
It just happens to have a blueprint of the headquarters. As if they knew they were going to need to break into headquarters because they knew that they were going to trap the kids. Like...
It all falls into each other too well.
Too perfectly. It's unrealistic. Especially for kids. Like, of course, anime normally stars kids, but, like, these kids are younger than most anime kids are. And they weren't even training their whole life like most anime kids are. Like, they just started playing tag. Yeah, they just started playing tag a year ago. They weren't taking taekwondo. Nope. They weren't learning how to be ninjas.
Nope.
They played tag for a few months.
They only trained to get out. They didn't train
to be able to overthrow a whole dictatorship.
Yeah, it just...
once they got out, like, they get into the human world, and they're just accepted, and then there was that montage of them growing up in the human world, and then the montage of Emma facing the demon world, and then they reunite at the end.
What's so annoying about the whole, like, being accepted into the demon world is, or the human world, is that they had such a hardship about that. They were like, oh my gosh, like, you know, are they going to accept us with open arms, all that stuff? They don't show whether they accepted them with open arms or not. And I feel like that's something that would have been really nice or cool to see, whether they had struggles.
No, because they just showed us the montage.
That's what I'm saying. I think it would have been good if they did show us.
And I know. Accepted in with open arms because they blended into regular human life.
But it's not realistic. If these kids came from the demon world, it doesn't make any sense that the humans would just be so accepting. And I think that that's stupid that they made it seem like they were accepted. And yes, they were accepted, but I don't think that's realistic, and I think that's stupid, and I think that they should have added that to it. Obviously, they rushed it. That's another thing.
I think it would have been cool if they didn't even speak the same language.
Right. Like, if there would have been...
And they had to learn how to be human because they didn't grow up in a human world. I think that would have been cool.
Hardships. Like, I would have wanted to see that. And the reason why...
is perfect, and they just get on the bus and go to school. Phil grows up.
But the reason why I think that they could make a season 3, I'm going to bring this back to me saying that they could make a season 3, is because they show us, and I said this earlier, not these people pick it up. Somebody else pick it up and make it better. And maybe at this point, what I'm about to say will not be season 3. It'll probably be like season 5 or 6 because it should be elongated and made it a little bit better and added a few more things. But I think that since they didn't show us what Emma and Phil had to go through, not Emma and Phil, Emma, Ray, and Norman had to go through in the outside world with the little minions trying to uprise everything, I think that could be good to see. And to change the whole, they got accepted with open arms, and them not be accepted with open arms, and they have to go through that shit of not speaking the same language, and that the humans don't trust them because of this, that, and the third, because they weren't born here, all that stuff. I think that would be a good season. Maybe not a 3rd season, because that would indicate that these same people will pick that shit back up and do it. But a season. A new season.
I agree. I think that they could have and should have done that, but instead they gave us this lazy piece of work. And I think it's a shame. You know how many Marvel adaptations there are of Spider-Man? They can do the same damn shit with this anime. Right.
Let's hope. I don't know. It's not going to be anytime soon. I'll say that I'll probably have kids by the time they do it, but that's fine. I could just make my children watch this one and be like, look at the good shit you're watching. Look at the good shit you're watching. Now that they
and then watch the old one and be like, see how you're privileged? This is what we had to go through.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. But anyway.
That's about it. Yeah. We went on a rant. We did talk about some good things. I was surprised, honestly. I thought that we were going to be straight shitting, but we did say quite a few good things about the show, more than I thought, because it wasn't that good of a season, but we found it good.
They introduced random characters, like the Peter guy, and
who was there only for a couple episodes, really, so.
Right, and then offed himself in the end.
So.
Pretty random.
Yeah, random, but we did it. Yay! Now we can cross this off and never talk about it again. Unless we're doing like a game or something.
I know, right? I mean, honestly, when I was watching it, I'm like, this really wasn't that bad. It's just the fact that they rushed it through the season. Like, they just didn't... It just makes it seem like they didn't try.
Yeah. Or that they realized that, oh shoot, we've got way more on our plate than we thought we did, and now we need to put it all in the season and get it over with.
Right, maybe that. Maybe they only signed on for a 2-season show, and then they realized that, like, oh shit, like, we actually have way too much for 2 seasons. You're right.
I would have just been fine with them just ending it like Hunter x Hunter, and then, like, eventually picking it back up. Yeah, I would have been fine with them not finishing it with all of the things that we just saw.
Right. And not every anime that we've watched or talked about has picked up, like, the very next year for a season. Like, you can take a season off longer if you need to.
Yeah.
What's the rush?
Revive your contract that you have. Like, say, hey, we actually have more. Can we have more seasons instead of trying to fit it?
That might be easier said than done, though. I don't know all that.
No, for sure. I would have rather you done season 1 and then not done season 2 at all to try to figure out if you can do that. And then if you can, then go on ahead with your plan. If you can't, keep it as season 1. Keep it as season 1 for me, please. Thank you. So,
but
that was good talk, though. Enjoyed it.
Honestly, it was. It turned out better than Death Note, because you straight ranted on Death Note. So.
I did.
That's what I was expecting for this.
I did say good things about Death Note.
Huh?
I did say good things about Death Note. I did. You only remember the bad things, because I also talked to you off camera about all the bad things and not any of the good things. So don't do that.
Death Note is good. Like we all love Death Note episode. It's okay. But you did straight rant, that's all I'm saying. You ranted more than this one.
They clearly liked the rant. Somebody liked the rant.
Hey, I like the rant. I was expecting another rant. That's all I was saying.
I think it was.
But this one, it's like not even worth ranting over. It's just like... It's
just
over.
Talk about it.
Yeah, it's over.
But I guess we'll see you guys next Wednesday. With Naruto. Bye. Well, that's a wrap on this week's episode. I hope you enjoyed our discussion on Promised Neverland Season 2, and we hope you come back next Wednesday. Next episode, we'll be back with Naruto!
Don't forget to connect with us at bakanasu@gmail.com. You can also find us on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, our podcast at Whole Lotta Baka. Info in the show notes below. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.